All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry I am not here again today. I apologize profusely. I know it's test day, so what I am going to do is I am going to quickly go over the whole study guide with you. Let's take a look at the agenda. So please take out your study guide. Also, if I could have someone hand out calculators, that would be great. I will pause while that's done. Again, if I could have someone hand out the calculators, and then make sure they are all put back in the box before the class bell rings. Okay, go ahead, get your calculators. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here. So we're going to go over the study guide completely. So please have that in front of you. Obviously, when you're taking the test, that cannot be out, so you'll need to put that away. You will take the test. Absolutely no cell phones out. Okay, if I hear there are cell phones, there are going to be problems. Okay, so no cell phones out. Remember, that needs to be until the very end when everyone is done. So if you've got other classwork you can do when you're done with the test, please do that. All right? Now, as far as work goes, you can wait until next week to hand in all your work. Okay, normally this is the day we hand it in, but because I'm not here and I'm going to go over this whole thing, we don't want to take time for that. All right, so all work can wait until next week. All right, here we go, study guide. Now, everything on the test and on the study guide, you do not have to use this screen. You should not have to use this screen at all. Okay? If you're going to try to use that screen, great, you certainly can, but no one can explain it to you while you're taking the test. So if you're going to use that screen, you better remember how to do it real quick. Okay, but you do not have to use this screen at all. You can use just this screen for the whole test. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so number one, fill in the table based on the figures above. All right, so looking at this, we know the top row, figure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number of squares, okay, that's pretty basic, I think. Pretty easy, right? So 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17. So we notice the pattern is going up 2. Okay, so this is an arithmetic series. All right, write a recursive routine for the sequence. Okay, it's already started for you. You just have to finish it off. U sub n minus 1 plus 2. Voila. Okay, D says find U12. All right, you can either go ahead and just continue the pattern on your own, or let's go over using the calculator. All right, so the first number is 3. Here we go. So 3, enter. The pattern is plus 2. Again, that's 1. There's 2. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, and 12. So the 12th number in the pattern is 25. All right, letter E, S7. Remember, S is a series. And what we want there is the sum. So S7, add up the first 7. So 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 13 plus 15. Now, I will warn you on the test, you may have to go just a bit further for the series, and the table might not be big enough. You're just going to have to go ahead and write those numbers down and then add them all up. Okay, and these add up to 63. All right, we're going to sketch this graph. Now, since this is arithmetic and it's going up consistently by 2, the dots are simply going to be in a straight line going up. So we're just going to draw 5 dots going up. Hopefully they're in a straight line, and then label them. So look at your table. The first dot would be 1, 3. Again, all we're doing is sketching it. It's not going to be totally accurate. The important thing is you understand the pattern forms a straight line going up. Okay, 2, 5, 3, 7, 4, 9, and 5, 11. Okay, let's keep going. Next page. All right, consider this sequence. 1, 5, 25, 1, 25, 6, 25. Okay, fill in the top. Okay, so 1, 5, 25. And make sure you fill in the whole table. Every blank is worth points. Fill in the whole table. 125, 625. All right, so it looks like the pattern is times 5. So if I continue that pattern, times 5, 625 times 5, 3,125. Next one would be 15,625 and 78,125. All right, this one is geometric. Because we are multiplying. The recursive routine, again, it's started for you. You just need to finish it off. Oops, not times 3, times 5. Let me fix that. Times 5. Okay, just like we did before, continue with the pattern. So you got to start it on your calculator. You need to go, okay, we started with 1, enter, times 5. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we want the 9th number, and there is the 9th number, 390,625. Okay, S6, add up the first 6 numbers. So here we go. Okay, I believe that adds up to 3,906. Okay, while I'm thinking of it, sorry I have to put this in here. Mastery quizzes, don't worry about those today. We will work on mastery quizzes next week. Again, don't worry about mastery quizzes right now. We will do retakes next week. All right, next one. All right, so in this problem, the top tells us how to start. Okay, it's already in the table for you. 0 on top, 150 underneath. Complete the top. Okay, the second row tells us what we're going to be doing, so you can see, and I'm going to write it underneath. Okay, so first we are multiplying by 0.65. We're multiplying by 0.65, and then we're subtracting 6. Okay, multiplying by 0.65, subtracting 6. So here we go on the calculator. Okay, I'm just going to do a few, and then I'm going to fill the rest in. So we are starting with 150. Enter. We're going to go times 0.65 minus 6. Okay, so here's the first number. Second number. Notice I started with first number because the 150 was under the 0. So the first number is 91.5. The second number is 53 point, and we're going to round it to 48. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the table with the rest of it. Okay. And then part B, the 10th number, so just continue. And remember, if you have decimals, you can round to just 2 places. Okay? So the 10th number ends up being negative 14.89. Now, since there's multiplication involved in this one, and the numbers are going down, okay, the dots are going down, but since it's multiplying by a 0.65, it's going to be curving down. So 5 dots that look like they are curving down. And remember, we're only sketching it. It is not going to be perfect, but I got to see that the dots are curving down. And then label 0, 150. 1, 91.5, and so on. Okay, go ahead and finish that. All right, next one. So again, we can see from up here, this really should say 0 right there. Sorry, there is a typo. That should say u sub 0 equals 6. Okay, finish the top row. Okay, now looking at what it says up here, I'm going to write it underneath so you can see it. It first says we're going to multiply by 3, and then we're going to subtract 8. So that's our pattern. Multiply by 3, subtract 8. So again, I'm just going to start it, and then I'm going to fill in the rest of the table. So we're starting with 6. We're multiplying by 3 and subtracting 8. So there's the next number, 10, and so on. Okay, continue the pattern to the 9th number, 39,370. Okay, S6, add up the first 6. Now again, if you mess up on this, I'm not going to mark it wrong, but remember what I said the other day. We don't start with the 0, we start with the 1. So we're going to go 10 plus 22 plus 58 plus 166 plus 490 plus 1462. And that gives us 2,214, I believe. Correction. That is not correct. Okay, sorry about that. 2,208. 2,208. I believe the other answer, you know what? I don't know where that answer came from. So, let's move on. If at any point I did make a mistake, I apologize. All right, here we go. Number 5. On June 1st, you borrow $13,000 to buy a car. The interest for the loan is 4.2% annually. The lender is going to compound it monthly, and you are making a $400 payment. All right, so $13,000, 4.2% annually. Remember, that means 4.2 out of 100, which is 0.042. Compounded monthly. That means 12 months, and you're making a $400 payment. Write a recursive routine for the above situation. Again, it started U sub n equals U sub n minus 1. This is one where a lot of people missed on the mastery quiz. Okay, times. Now remember, you have to keep the old balance. So we need a number that will keep the old balance, and that's a 1. Remember, 1 times something is whatever that number is. So we need the 1 plus, then the percent, or I should say the decimal for the percent, divided by the 12 because it's 12 months. We're compounding it monthly. And then since we're making a payment, it's minus 400. Okay? How much money do you still have after 6 months? All right, so on your calculator, we start with $13,000. Okay, now let me emphasize, we do not count that one. Do not count that one. Okay, that is the initial amount. That is the 0. We don't count that as 1 month. That's the amount we borrow. Do not count that one. Times 1. Parentheses 1 plus 0.042 divided by 12. Close it. Minus 400. Okay, this is 1 month. 2 months. Some of you miscounted on the mastery quiz. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So that's 6 months. Got to go to 6 months. 6 months. That's how much money is still left after 6 months. $10,854.30. Okay? Now the next one is how many months will it take to pay it off? This is where you got to count. Okay, sorry, this might be a little annoying. Here we go. So that was 6 months. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, I'm just going to do this without counting out loud. Okay, when you reach 0 or a negative, that means you have paid it off. Okay, that was 35 months. I had to hit enter 35 times. All right, now this next part, you don't need to read through it. It's just talking about radioactive iodine. Okay, so you can skip that and go to the problem on the next page. All right, so number 6. This is true. My wife, it's been more than 18 years now. My wife, Michelle, had thyroid cancer, and she had to have her thyroid removed. As part of her treatment, she had to swallow 800 milligrams of radioactive iodine pills to kill off any remaining cancer cells in her body. After swallowing those pills, she was confined to a hospital room where she couldn't be near people because she was radioactive. Only people wearing a protective bodysuit could go into the same room as her. We could not visit her until the radioactive iodine in her body was below 40 milligrams. About half of the radioactive iodine leaves the body each day. How many days would it take before we could see her? All right, so we're going to start with 400 or 40. We're going to do the enter, and we're going to multiply by a half. Okay, and then we're going to count until it is, oops, I'm sorry. See, I'm goofy here. We're going to start off with 800 milligrams. Okay, 800 milligrams. Sorry about that. 800 milligrams, and we're going to count until we're below 40. Okay, so here we go. 800, enter, times a half, and yes, you can use the decimal if you prefer. So, do not count the 800 as 1. Do not count that. That is the initial amount. Start counting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all it took. It took 5 days. That's your answer. That's it. That's all you do for that one. 5 days until we could go see her when her level was below 40 milligrams. All right. Last page. Now this last page is worth 20% of your score. Okay, I'm sure you were used to it last year. You did a cumulative review. It is the same this year. 20% of your score is based on this last page. All right, now it's almost identical with changes, so make sure you read things very carefully. All right, so we're given an inscribed angle. We want to know the arc length, okay? Super easy. All you need to do is remember to take your angle, 22.5 degrees, and double it. All you have to do is double it. So that's 45 degrees. That's it. That's done. Okay, write the notation for one chord given in the diagram below. Okay, well, there are two chords. There's C, D, or DC, it doesn't matter, CD. And there's another chord, CE. You only have to write one. You can write both if you want, but only one is necessary. That's it. That one's done. Okay, in fact, when you take the test, you might want to do the last page first. All right, now the next one. This is where I was telling you to be cautious. Read. Draw a 45-degree line, okay, or diagonal on the graph. Okay, you should start in the center, and 45 degrees means you're going up 1 over 1 like this. So it should go to the corner, and then it should go down to this corner. Whoops, a little crooked. Okay, that is a diagonal line of 45 degrees. Now, the slope of that, I said it as I was drawing it. The slope, remember slope is m. It's 1 over 1, rise over run, which is just 1. Okay, the slope of a 45-degree diagonal line is 1. Okay, now this next one says vertical line. Again, make sure you read on the test. Okay, this one says vertical. Vertical, remember, is up and down. You can draw a vertical line anywhere on your graph, okay, if it says vertical. Okay, so what's the slope of a vertical line? Well, there is no slope. Okay, there is no slope of a vertical line. Now, if it was a horizontal line, then there would be a slope. That would be 0. But this was vertical. Vertical is no slope. Okay, let me repeat. All the work needs to be put away, If you do want to hand things in today, the basket is by the window on the counter. Make sure you get the correct day, day 2, and the correct period. Absolutely no cell phones out unless they're sitting on the charging station. Okay? All right. Thank you. I should be back on Monday. I don't know if I'll have the test corrected by then, but I will try. It's been a little crazy for me the last week and a half. So, I'll see you next week sometime. Good luck. Take your time. Oh, one more thing. I want everyone to take the test. If you were absent more than one day, I will talk to you about possibly retaking it. Okay, possibly. That doesn't mean you're going to get to. But I will do all of that on an individual basis. But everybody in this room needs to take the test, and then I will evaluate later. Okay? Everyone's taking the test. All right. That's it. Good luck. See you next week.